Today we're making gravy. And no, I'm not talking about Young Gravy, the D-list rapper who looks like he sat behind me in high school algebra and accidentally got famous on TikTok. But
why you boring me? I'm right.
to me, gravy is in this weird place as a condiment. It's like this thing that you're really only supposed to serve during like Christmas or Thanksgiving. And it's never really like the star of a dish. It's kind of just like something that makes things less dry. I wanted to find a way to make gravy like more of a star of a dish, but I also wanted to find a recipe that we could use outside of the holiday season. I'm feeling a bit nostalgic today. It's cold and rainy, so we're gonna make a Christmas style dinner with sweet potato wedges and a cider glaze. And I'm gonna walk you guys through a recipe for the best gravy I've ever tasted. So we'll be doing a whole roast chicken, so start by unearthing your roasting pan. Dear God in heaven. We only use ours around the holidays, so that's why it was in the basement, but... Once you find it, get it ready for your chicken, which you should rinse and pat dry with paper towels. I like to make a sort of rubbing mixture where I take olive oil and a bunch of seasoning and have that separate from everything else so that it doesn't get contaminated with the chicken. Be generous with the seasoning. I did salt, pepper, garlic powder, thyme, and oregano. Mix that all together and rub it all over the chicken. I know this looks weird, but if you put oil between the skin of a chicken and the breast, it makes the skin really crispy and tastes a lot better. It also lets you get seasoning on the breast. And once your chicken has reached room temperature, place it in the oven for about 2 hours. Now we can start working on the gravy by separating some thyme leaves from their sprigs and mincing them up pretty fine. Peel a shallot and mince it. Boil some vegetable stock on the stove and get some mushrooms ready for rehydrating. Pour the boiling stock over the mushrooms and let them sit for 20 minutes. Once that's close to being done, melt some butter in a saucepan and saute the shallots in the butter. Once that's softened up, take it off the heat for a bit. Strain the mushrooms into another bowl so you keep the stock, and then mince them up. Slowly add flour to the butter shallot mixture until you've got a pretty thick base for the gravy. Once all the flour is incorporated, start adding stock slowly, giving it time to reduce. Once it's all incorporated and thickened, add the mushrooms, the thyme, cream, and soy sauce and sherry. Mix that up and you can let this stew for as long as you like. I like mine pretty thick, so I let it cook for a little longer to get that moisture out. Next we can break down our sweet potatoes. Just do this in wedges. And then boil the crap out of some cider. This is what the gravy looks like now. It's starting to thicken up some more. Then grease a baking tray for the sweet potatoes. And restrain your dog as she tries to murder your neighbor who's knocking on your door. Once the chicken has about 45 minutes left to go, put the sweet potatoes in to roast. Keep boiling that cider. The chicken's done now. It's got a really crispy skin. It's all golden brown and looks really good. This is what the cider should look like once it's reduced. After you carve the chicken, you can start plating up. We also roasted some green beans just to have another vegetable. We didn't end up using the cider reduction because I wasn't paying attention and I burned it. So instead we just melted some butter and added brown sugar. I actually like this better than the cider reduction. Plate up everything, and then literally smother everything on your entire plate with the gravy. The thing that I like most though about this gravy is that it has its own flavor profile. You're not using what was left over from the chicken to add a little bit of sauce and texture to your dish. You're using something that stands alone on its own as having a complex and rich flavor profile. It tastes really good. It's also vegetarian, which is a nice bonus, and it's quickly become one of the favorite things to eat during family style dinners at my house. So if you made this recipe, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. This is the one tool that you should be using to elevate your home cooking to another level. In this video, we're going to look at 3 different recipes and 3 different ways that I think you should be using a thermometer to help change the game in terms of how you make food at home.